welcome to the 2023 finals preview here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. I said it. There it is. I finally said it. We can finally say it. We're playing finals. We're in finals. We're contending for a premiership. We are contenders. It's been a long time coming. I needed a few days to process, and I am probably still in need of some more time to process what is happening from every standpoint. It's a very deep and, spiritual experience, what's happening right now. And yeah, I'm just very grateful to be able to document such moments with everyone and for us to all have a little role to play in the history of the club. The season, the sport, the whole lot, it has been a remarkable time to be alive and watch. And now we get to, I feel, really unify our generations of supporters. Along this journey, I've spoken to, connected with many Carlton supporters from many different generations with many different stories, many different memories. And I find that they come in probably 10 to 15 year blocks. And for the first time, we get to all combine and all be on that same page to support a brand new team, so to speak, a brand new era. And it's just the best. And it's just worth the wait. It was worth the wait. I think we'll talk about the season when it's done. Obviously, want to acknowledge what was achieved from where we were, particularly after round 13, where there was a need of a circuit breaker, of an adjustment. There was a need of an evolution, some maturity. It happened. They won 9 in a row. This club had not done that for 20 years, over 20 years. So this team, officially, in my life experience, is the best team I've ever watched. So can't take any of that for granted, and I won't take any of it for granted. And yeah, it's a truly special time for all of us. So finals. What in the world do we do? It's so new. It's a foreign concept. There's a few little links in my mind. So we'll start with Sydney, playing against the Swans on Friday, the 8th of September. I've watched us play in 2 finals against the Swans, both at the SCG. We've lost both of them. We finally get a chance to play them at the MCG on our home deck. We've earned the right to do that, and that in itself is a great achievement. And I feel one thing I can draw on when it comes to finals experience, even though I've only seen a handful, is that experience matters. And as much as I believe that we can win this game and we will win this game, I also am not ignorant and naive to the fact that finals is a different ball game, and it brings out the best, the absolute best in everybody. And lesser known names can become heroes. Trent Dennis-Lane, never forget these types. And so that's something I'm excited about because that can help us. And that's something I'm also very wary of. I don't think we could really ever go into any final, knowing that we're going to win a game. At this point, maybe along the journey in the next few years, the hope is that we've built a foundation of sustained success, but this is the first one. So there's the nerves factor. There's a lot of things playing along here. Where I draw a lot of confidence from with our story is the process-driven approach. And I think Michael Voss knows exactly what it takes to win a premiership, let alone 2, let alone 3. And so the process that we have been developing over the course of the last 2 seasons is really, hopefully, there for the group to draw on when the pressure mounts, and you just focus on the fundamentals of what each individual needs to do to help the collective win. So it's a time for real selflessness. It's a time for real unity, team spirit, humility as well. And I'm just, we're all going to soak it up. We really are. One of the things I didn't expect to happen at this point that has happened is I've spoken to a lot of people or they've reached out to me via email or Instagram or whatever. And I've had a lot of people from the generation who have seen multiple premierships. They're all saying the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. And what they're telling me is that they know when a team hits that point, they know what to look for, the elements of a good team or a great team or a team that can win a premiership. And I'm not getting ahead of myself, but I don't know any better. You do. Those of you who I've spoken to, you guys know what great teams are made up of. So I get a lot of confidence from the generation prior to mine reaching out and telling me these things because they have seen it. They've seen it in different forms because they've seen different teams win different premierships. So that's something I'm excited about. It's the new generation, the younger generation, like my brother's age. My brother's 21. He was with me for the 2013 elimination final. He doesn't remember it. I do. But, those who were born after the year 2000, like him, they don't remember. They don't have a final to draw on. Or if they do, they don't remember it clearly. So they're all in that, late teenage to early 20s bracket, and they're about to go to their first final. And you just see the excitement, whether it's on Twitter, in the DMs, and you just see. And I think that's exciting. The club, the unification of the club with its people, its fans. I think this Stronger Together campaign is wonderful. I think it is a really strong symbol of our power. And then it leads me to think about, and maybe those who have been to premierships and seen successful sides can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I see right now is there's a range, there's a scale of supporters who think one way or another. And I really do feel there is almost a job for us. There's a duty. We have a job to do. And I feel like if we can get the whole spectrum, the whole scale of supporters all into one channel of energy to give to the players on game day, I think what it will help do is give them that environment of support and comfort, given it's a home game. Because I think the pressure is clearly on. The pressure's been on this group for many years. This isn't new. It's just elevated. And with pressure situations, what is required is you got to find a way to get into that flow state. There's a lot of external happening, noise, and fear creeps in, and the fear may draw you to that external noise. And so I feel like there's a duty for us to create an environment in which they're comfortable, because only when you're comfortable can you really focus in on the task at hand and find that magical flow state. And I think what we were seeing early in the season is so much pressure, so much noise. They were all tight and they were tense. And so I think of how can we create an environment where they don't have that tense feeling through their bodies and they can just relax a little bit, and they play their best football when they're enjoying it. So that's what I think of. So I would love some perspective on that and how we can do that. And I think we've earned it on our own merit. Like, it can't be questioned. 2013 was a bit of an interesting one because of what happened with the Essendon Football Club. So we kind of got in on a technicality. 2011 was the last time I think we got in on our own merit, no questions asked. We finished 5th that season as well. We finished 5th this season. So, yeah, just to be able to add so many more layers now to the story. Do you guys remember a couple of years ago, like all the memories that we had was like the past and certain games? There was probably a 3 or 4 year period where we were drawing on that 2017 win against the Giants. The 2019 late season win against St Kilda because it was a good vibe. We beat Geelong in 2020. We had minimal games to draw on as memories. It was just full of angst and disappointment. And I still remember the quote ringing in my ears that I used to say, like, when is it going to end? When are we going to be just a good team? And again, not to say that we're winning the flag this year. I believe we can win the flag this year, but I'm humble enough to know that nothing's guaranteed in finals, and it's almost a reset. So not to say what happened in the season doesn't matter. I think it does matter from the standpoint of maybe mentally and some confidence against certain teams. But ultimately, it's brand new. It starts again. It's a brand new season of sorts, and it may last 1 week. It may last 4. Who knows? I draw confidence in the way in which we have managed our playing group. And I think for all the frustration that we expressed over the last few years with the bodies and the injury list and, the management of players, a lot of it was speculation from all of us. All we really had as evidence was players unavailable, soft tissue injuries were reoccurring, and getting to the end of the season and having to put players in cotton wool, these type of situations. Whereas now we go into the finals and there's probably 1, maybe 2 players who would be in our best 22 if we had everyone available. I think Zach Williams is one, and there's a debate about Jack Silvani if he would be another one. So we've had this opportunity where we beat the Gold Coast Suns to clinch our spot officially. Then we had this opportunity to rest Cripps, who's going to come into the finals off a 3-week break. Same with Sam Doherty. I think a guy like Mark Pitternet will only be better for the run having a few weeks rest. I think Harry Mackay's another one, Sam Walsh, Adam Chera, these types. And what we're going to need from them is the greatest defensive effort from everyone. Because one thing we know about this team now, it is all about how we defend the ground. The offense comes when we earn it from the hard work that we do with our defensive action around the ground. That's what I've learned about this team in season 2023. They took a while to get on the same page and fully invest themselves on the defensive side across the ground, across 4 quarters. And, the last game of the season, we saw a bit of a dip in that mental application, and it showed. And I think it was a blessing in disguise, because what it does is it reinforces to me as the supporter anyway. I don't know about you guys, but what it did for me is just reinforced we can't go into a game without the best approach defensively and expect to win. We're going to just give ourselves too many troubles. Now, that's going to apply to everyone. Defensive action rises for every single team in finals football. And the deeper you get, the more intense the defensive pressure gets. So this isn't something that, only Carlton are going to be needing. The Swans will bring it. Next week, we'll do the preview for the game, which is wild. It's absolutely wild. So I'll get that out next week. But this is just more of a, got my ticket, it's all real. This is just a preview of what's to come. And I touched on it earlier in this video, but, this is the best team I've seen. And this is the first time in my life, and I'm dead serious, that we go into a finals series, and I believe we are capable of winning the flag. 2013, I did not think we were capable of winning the flag. I thought we maybe could have pinched the Richmond game. 2011, I did not think we were capable of winning the flag, but I did think we were capable of getting far, maybe a prelim. This group, I am, in a weird way, this group that doesn't have a lot of finals experience, I have a confidence that they are capable of winning the flag this season. Now, that doesn't mean they are again, but there's such a confidence with them and their ability. And I think also because of the weight that we've had to carry. And again, earlier in the video, I said it all makes sense. And the reason why it makes sense, why we had so many years of disappointment, and sometimes it was hard for me to sort of see through it because we get so caught up in that short term, in that moment. It was hard for me to understand that you just got to keep adding almost layers of failure. Like you got to keep failing over and over again before you succeed. And that's just life. You fail a little less every time until you cross the line. So I think a lot of them have a weight to carry, which has been probably the majority of their careers, a bit of last year as well. I think earlier this year, another weight to carry to hit that low point in the season and know that we were so much better than that. So I draw confidence from that. And ultimately, I give myself to the unknown because, like I said, it can end next week. It could be over. And I think I would still be proud of what they were able to achieve if that was to be the case. I'd be very disappointed, but I would still be proud of what they're able to achieve. And that's what else can you honestly expect as a supporter who has no influence on the outcome of a game? Like, what can you honestly expect from the club other than progression each year? So I don't know if that releases a bit of pressure internally to know that no matter what, it was a step forward and they did something that they hadn't been able to do as a group and as a football club for a decade. But I think also there's such an opportunity, given the health of the list, given the ability of the list, and given the situation, like, you know, Collingwood are a little bit wounded with their top end. Melbourne as well, to an extent. Port Adelaide and Brisbane, I not to say that they can't win in Melbourne, but there is always that, we're at the MCG. There's a little bit less fear than if we were playing such teams away. So it all comes down to what happens at the MCG on the final day. Now, we may need to go interstate along this journey to get to the grand final. I don't know, but we'll see. But I just feel like we've beaten every team. It's not something, apart from the Lions, it's not something that I've experienced before. So there's that. And so ready, willing, and able for all of it. I don't have much experience to draw on, so I'm just going to enjoy every moment, embrace every moment, and kind of go from there, you know? What we also have in store for you, we've got a couple of things, some new merch. Take a look. BA Finals t-shirts. Get them now before they run out. So there's these. There's also the pins. I think I show these pins every single time I come on stream. The BA pins, they go on your scarf, on your backpack, wherever. So just a little token of you know, the journey we've been on. And so again, I always will thank everyone for being a part of this. I could not explain to you what it's like in my mind right now, thinking about all of this, given how much we wanted it. And my mind has started to drift into not looking too far ahead, but what we've got is, you know, 6 seasons, 6 years of almost daily content that is all going to be put together one day. And people in many, many years from now will watch the film, the documentary, the Carlton movie, as told by the Carlton fans. So, yeah, as we inch closer, we are so far away from it, but also we've never been this close to it. So, yeah, there's a lot happening. There's a lot to be excited about, and bring it on, I say. What about you? How have you compartmentalized everything that has happened up until this point? Share with me in the comments below. Share with us in the comments below where your headspace is at. And I look forward to seeing you all. Speaking of, this Saturday, the pre-finals bye, 9:30 a.m. there is the open training. What we're going to do is do a bit of a meet-up as well. We'll get it all in one. Let's all go to the football club. It's the best place to do it. A few of you have asked about a pre-finals function. This is it. Let's just all get to open training on Saturday morning. Starts at 9:30. We'll hang out, meet those who I haven't met or we haven't met, and then hang around because round 1 of the AFLW season is there. And so we can all just chill, hang out at our football club and kind of go from there. So anyway, chat to you in the comments. Have a great one. See you at the MCG, mate. Go Blues.